Thank you for your company here on Joy News today. In our first story, students of the Ghana School of Survey and Mapping in Labadi are protesting the sale of the land on which they are situated by the Lands Commission to a private investor. A press conference scheduled to be addressed by the students this morning was interrupted, resulting in chaos. Leader of the disgruntled student has been speaking to the press amid heavy security presence.
For their massive support so far, right from the morning through the press conference and up to this time. We want to state that now everything is under control. The reason why I said that is because we have in our midst. Come here, order. The reason why I said everything is now in order, yes, I'm not meaning to say that our grievances have been addressed. That is not what I mean to say. I mean to say that we have security in our midst who is calming the situation down. So we would want to take one or two words from them. In as much as we want to express our grievances, we should also be mindful that we don't infringe on the rights of the others. So we would... Choboy! The police are not here to arrest anybody. Please. Hello? Will you listen? Hello? The police are not here to arrest any students. They are here to maintain law and order. So we want to take one or two words from the commander. Hello, Choboy? Choboy? Yeah, you kindly give me your ears, eh? Yes. Please, I just want to entreat each and every one of you to maintain your calm. It is just unfortunate that when the confusion started, we didn't have enough men on ground. Our duty here is to protect you. We have not come here to arrest anybody. All we have come, Choboy, all we have come to do here is to ensure that there's peace around the area, that everyone is equally protected. We know you have put across your grievances to the relevant authorities, and we know very much that the relevant authorities are working on it. So, all we will do here, all we will entreat from you is to maintain your calm. As we work with you to ensure the peace of the area, we'll just ask you to maintain your calm. Don't destroy any property here. Whatever property you find around or whatever development you find around, when the authorities have taken final decision, they'll be handled as such. Is that right? So all we'll ask you to do, Choboy, so we want you to, yes, listen, Choboy, so all we want you to do is to cooperate with us, work with the police so that we ensure the security of the area. We are here to protect the area, and so we urge you to cooperate with us. Nobody should go around destroying any property. We are also here to make sure that, Choboy, we are here to make sure that no other person infringes on your rights. Is that right? So let us maintain our calm. From hence, I don't want to see any sort of disturbances anymore.
So what you just saw happened a while ago. Let's go live now to Labadi and speak to my colleague Mapito Sabidi, who has been covering this protest. We'll get the latest from her. Hi, Mapito. What we've heard that some 4 students have been injured, and so they are at the 37 military hospital. What can you report on that, Mapito?
Hello, Bernice. Can you please repeat your question? I can't seem to hear you properly.
Sorry about that. I'm asking about some 4 students who are reportedly injured as a result of this protest. We hear that some land guards, some men believed to be land guards, actually threw some stones at them. What's the latest, Mapito?
Yes, the land guards threw stones. Yes, the land guards threw stones at them, and in efforts to retaliate, unfortunately, 4 students were injured.
So where are you now, and what is happening? I can hear a bit of some interaction going on behind you.
Currently, now it's peaceful. It's the calm after the storm. The students are just waiting for the director to come address them. They are currently in a meeting with the administration, and they don't want to speak to media currently, but then we're just waiting for them.
And do you still have heavy security presence at the school premises?
Yes.
And,
no, we don't have heavy security presence. The police commander of the district's The police commander has assured that the students are now calm and no violence shall arise.
Okay, so what have the students been telling you if the administration or management fails to secure this property for them? What have the students been saying they are likely to do?
So they have given the government 2-week ultimatum. In this 2-week ultimatum, if it passes, they are said they will do the president of the SRC said they'll do unthinkable things to the developers and the contractors that will come. So and currently they're not saying anything, but they say if the 2-week ultimatum passes, then something will happen.
All right, Mapito, so briefly before you go, just describe what you can see when you visit the premises of the School of Survey and Mapping here in Accra. Do you see vandalized property? What exactly can you see on the ground?
School property is not vandalized, but the developers had demarcated some of the property. So now, if you can just come see with me this side. As you can see, that the barricades are now off because the students had destroyed them.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for the details. My colleague Mapito Sabidi coming to us from Labadi, where the Ghana School of Survey and Mapping is located, and the students are protesting the sale of their land to a private developer. Away from that, the Minister of Works and Housing is taking a tour at some major ongoing housing project sites in and around Accra and Tema, and Joy News' Maxwell Ababa has joined him on that tour of those facilities and joins us with some updates. Hello, Maxwell. What can you report so far?
Well, Dennis, if you recall, during the vetting of the Sector Minister, Honorable Samuel Atachian, in fact, he made a bold statement that when he becomes minister, he would make sure that government affordable housing projects, which is continued by President Mahama, to make sure he continue with all those projects. In fact, he actually stated that he would make sure that all old projects are completed before they start new ones. So as part of efforts, the minister's efforts to expedite action on how government can bridge the country's housing deficit with affordable housing, he has been touring some affordable housing projects within, the catchment area of the Tema Development Company Limited. In fact, the first port of call was the Tema Development Company Limited, formerly known as the Tema Development Corporation. There, he had an in-camera meeting with the management of the TDC, and then later had some interactions also with some of the workers. From there, he actually left to visit some ongoing projects supervised by the Tema Development Company Limited. We went to one structure. It's a multi-purpose building which has some offices, some shops, and all of that being supervised currently by the Tema Development Company Limited. From there, we also went to the Kaiser flat. We are told that that structure, that flat, about 30 flats, is being occupied by some quarters at a stance right now. Not all the occupants are quarters actually. Some of the occupants have been served with notices to leave the building, but stands right now, some of them are still in there, and that flat would actually be demolished, in some weeks to come, and then it would also be redeveloped, subsequently. So that's right now. We head into another location where there's an affordable housing project together with the Minister Ben.
All right, Maxwell, the issue of affordable housing is very paramount to a lot of people within the public space. There's a lot of public interest around it. What has the minister been saying while touring these facilities? Well,
he has not made any statement yet, like any action, like interview concerning what he has seen. That usually what we get is from his interaction with the officials from the SEMA, Development Company Limited. He's not, I can say that he's not about, some of the projects that we visited, especially the Kaiser Plus, for instance, which is not, really in a good shape. And he's hoping, to redevelop these structures.
Well, Maxwell, we are struggling to hear you. We'll touch base with you later for some updates on the tour of the sector minister, the Minister for Works and Housing, Mr. Samuel Atachia. He's been touring some affordable housing projects here in the Greater Accra region. Now, the Public Utilities Workers Union says it is disappointed President Akufo-Addo went ahead to negotiate new terms on the ECG concession arrangement without first consulting them. The workers have been agitating against the concession deal with the Millennium Challenge Authority yesterday. President Akufo-Addo announced a successful renegotiation of the compact that will reduce the tenure of the concession from 25 to 20 years. In an interview with Beatrice Adu News Desk, the General Secretary of POOL, Michael Nyantichi, said members will be waiting for documents from the presidency before taking their next line of action.
It was something that majority of us and ECG workers were expecting to see before a definitive decision or pronouncement like the one we had yesterday will come out. But that did not happen. And that is what we are seeing, that majority of our members that we spoke to yesterday after the president address seems to have been taken aback because this kind of dialogue, which would have opened up for everybody to understand all the issues surrounding this new petition, was not agreed or did not happen.
So,
on that score, not that what the president has done, we are discontented.
Exactly, and that is actually the point we've been talking about all this while. But what would have changed if the president had spoken with you before coming out yesterday to make the pronouncement he made?
One, we think that the president would have kept his word, and for us it will have been a shore up in the credibility of what the president said he was going to do. Secondly, it will also have put us in a better position to understand the issues that have informed or influenced this new agreement. And we will also be in a better position to explain to our membership. Because you see, when you are talking about reform, at the end of the day, if the people who are going to be the key actors, you don't get the buy-in, sometimes you run into problems when it comes to implementation. And we thought that these are some of the issues which could have helped facilitate the forward march.
So let's take it for example. The president said that instead of 25 years, we are going to have 20 years agreement with the U.S. partners. Also, Ghanaians are going to have 51% stake in the ECG. Are you saying that if the president had probably consulted you before making these pronouncements, probably the year could have reduced and the percentage of Ghanaians' ownership would have increased?
No, that's not what we are saying. All we are saying is that yes, that forum or that dialogue would have given us a better appreciation.
You're watching Joy News today with me, Bernice Abubedu. More stories after this. Many thanks for staying here on Joy News today. It's a story about life and death, a story about babies and mothers dying at a facility which should rather ensure they live. I'm talking about the Joy News special assignment on how so many babies and mothers are dying at the maternity block of the Okomfonoche Teaching Hospital as a result of congestion at the facility. On the average, 4 babies die daily, while over 100 women lose their lives on delivery beds there annually. Well, First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo has joined the campaign to change the situation.
I'm told by the engineers that it would cost about 10 million cedis to put the one-story building up. And so I implore and plead with all Ghanaians who would want to help to come out and help us raise the funds or bring whatever they have to help the situation. We cannot allow this to go on. And so please, please, please come and help with whatever you have. Kichwa bienswa. And so that we can, as soon as possible, solve this problem. Kumasi is a city. It's not like it's some village somewhere. And it's really appalling what is going on in a city in Ghana. And we really need to do something as soon as possible about this.
My colleague, Joy News' Seth Kwame Boateng, is the gentleman leading this project. He joins me to give us some more information regarding this upcoming event. So, Seth, you did the story, you produced the special assignment next to that. We've seen a lot of people come in one way or the other to support this project, but we want to launch this program as a way to consolidate, if so to say, bring everything within one pool. So just tell us how the fundraising and the launch is going to take place.
So, you know, after the documentary, we presented a copy of the documentary to the First Lady and the Second Lady as well. We called on them to use their influence to help fix the problem. You know, the President went to Okomfonoche and promised that he was going to fix the situation. He was going to make sure that abandoned structure is continued. But contractors told us, even if we get the money today, it will take them about 2 years to finish. Now, we did a calculation. We are losing about 4 babies every day. So if we are going to wait for the 2 years, imagine how many babies we would have lost. And the issue has to do with the congestion. So the plan was, why don't we do an extension or an expansion? Yes, that is exactly what we are going to do now. We saw some buildings there. We thought we could build on or do the expansion, but we sent engineers down. They realized, no, it will cost us more to do that. Instead, why don't we look for a place and put up something? And it's exactly what we're going to do on the 4th. That is coming Thursday, 5 p.m. And we are launching this. The project is called Save a Child, Save a Mother. The hashtag is Save Them Now. We are doing this in the office of the First Lady. She wants to make sure the problem is fixed. So we are partnering her to raise funds. So we've invited a number of people. Those watching us are also welcome. All we need is money. Just come with your money and let's save lives. You might think the problem is far from you, but mind you, Okomfonoche is saving about 8 regions. So even if you will not go there, somebody very close to you will one day go there and may have to go through that. So we are meeting on Thursday evening for 5 p.m. to launch this, and we need money. We are looking at initial 10 million. We want to raise initial 10 million cedis for this project, and it includes refurbishment, equipment, the facility and everything. And the good news is the engineers told us that if we're able to raise this money, the initial one, they're going to finish in 3 months and hand over.
Well, that's some good news.
So that's what we're looking at. So help us save lives, and I think God will bless you. Not I think, God will bless you.
All right, so if someone is not able to make it for the launch, I'm sure on that day you're going to, you know, tell us the account or other means that
we have an account number ready.
Okay.
We have a mobile money account also ready, and those in other parts of the country, multimedia outlets are available. They can also go to the banks and deposit the money. So a number of doors have opened to allow people also contribute.
All right, and I know we have a very large international audience. So for those of you watching us overseas, you can also contribute when the account, when the program is launched and the account is made public.
Exactly.
We'd also do our very best to let you know about it. Thank you very much for this work. Seth Kwame Boate, my colleague. The fundraising event, let me just reiterate, comes off at the First Lady's office this Thursday, 4th May 2017. It will be live on the Joy News channel, on Multi-TV and your superstation, Joy 99.7 FM at 5 p.m. Do tune in on Twitter. We are, using the hashtag #SaveThemNow. Away from that, the Textile, Garment and Lethal Workers Union of Ghana says it wants government to consider an extensive plan to solve the perennial problems in the textiles industry. You'll recall that over 200 personnel in the garment and textile industry lost their jobs last year. This is because their companies could not afford to continue to engage them further due to poor market coupled with issues of piracy and unhealthy competition. In an interview on Joy News Desk with Beatrice Edu, the National Vice Chairman of the Textile, Garment and Lethal Workers Union of Ghana, Ebenezer Asumadu, asked for a comprehensive approach to deal with the problem.
The textile industry is having a peculiar problem, which we think we have to meet with any government, not this particular government, but any government that will come to power, so that we solve the problem once and for all. The challenge has been that now the cost of production is very high. The cost of production is very high in the country. We talk about electricity and other utilities compared to elsewhere, Asia and all these things. So people are taking our designs to Asia, specific China, to go and print it, come and sell it at our country. So it's making our product very difficult to be sold in this market.
You talked about cost of production. I'll come back to that shortly. But earlier, you also mentioned that you're working with the task force, kind of a way of empowering them to do their work. But over the years, the task force has been there, and it seems that their work is not though efficient.
True.
What else is being done to ensure that this thing is tackled?
I think when we met the minister, he said it. He gave that explanation that the task force is not being effective, as you said. So now you want to intensify it by another strategy, because he mentioned to us that we may think we've arrested about 10 containers, 40 will be at the market. So it's a collaboration effort between the industry and the ministry to combat this menace.
So what is the new strategy you talk about?
I think we are going to meet the minister, and he is going to come with the measures to move the task force ahead.
One thing, like I said earlier, you talked about it's the cost of production for textiles in Ghana, and the fact that people are taking your designs, sending them to other countries and bringing them back to you at cheap prices. What are you doing to deal with this?
We see the task force should be put in place. At the same time, we're also appealing to the government to give us a special tax incentive. For instance, if a soft loan will be given to these industries so that they can even compete with Asia and this Europe. For instance, if a company like my company is taking a loan of 35%, between 28 to 35%, you see how much can he factor all this into his production? At the same time, he's employing about 1,200 workers, paying their social security and all these things. At the same time, paying cooperative tax. So it's become very, very burden on the local industries. This is what we want the minister or the government to be giving those local industry incentives.
So at least there should be specialized lending rates for the textile companies. That's what you're saying?
Not only the textiles. We are talking about industrialization.
The Ghana National Fire Service is warning the public against the activities of certain individuals who are posing as personnel of the service, rendering services for money. Officials observed these supposed fire service persons extort money from unsuspecting clients and issue fake fire certificates to them. Ashanti Regional Fire Commander Deputy Chief Fire Officer Seme Kofi Adjo wants the public to cause the arrest of such persons when they encountered them. He was speaking with Love FM's Prince Apia.
Some people, going around issuing fake certificates, indicating that it is coming from fire service, asking them to pay some amount for the supply of extinguishers and then services to be rendered, and for which we don't have any knowledge of. So once we get this information, we had to alert the police to also be on the lookout. Because this report started coming about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and not until last week that we had the evidence. Somebody brought us the receipt, and even when you look at the receipt, it has the emblem of that's the coat of arms and the logo of Ghana National Fire Service, and there are some telephone numbers on it. So we tried contacting or calling those numbers, but it is not going. And the best we can do is to alert the public, so that if anybody comes around in the name of fire service, the public should know that fire service, we don't sell extinguishers or either paying for any of those services that is being alluded to. So if anybody comes around, you either cause the arrest of that person or report to the nearest police station or the safety department of the regional command, Ghana National Fire Service, Kumasi. So we are warning the public once again that should anybody, even in uniform, fire service uniform, come around with anything like this, you should cause the arrest of that person. Yes.
Now, the Central Region Police says it's embarking on a mission to expose and expunge corrupt and unprofessional police personnel within the police service in the Central Region. According to the Central Regional Police Commander, DCOP David Ampabenin, the service will make policing unattractive to police personnel who fall short of the international standard of policing. Addressing the police personnel at a monthly parade session, the regional commander asked residents to report all unprofessional conduct of policemen to his outfit. Richard Kojonyako was at the parade and came through with this report.
The police administration in the Central Region has gathered all 8 men, and they have conducted a parade. The essence of this program is to make the police look smart and very responsive to duty.
It is often said that a neat policeman, a policeman who is well dressed, is smart. It's alert also in his mind. So that this parade is to keep the alertness of the men, to keep them alert, so that they can always recognize crime wherever it is performed. If a policeman is neat in his body, neat in his shoe, every part of it, that means he's also alert on duty. So this parade is to make them fit, health-wise, and also make them to work and love the work. You heard the music on the background. It sounds, it's almost like a war music, etc. And it involves the spirit of policing, a spirit in their people that I believe in visibility. You visit your stations, you visit your people, you inspect their uniform, you inspect their body, that they are well dressed. Any well dressed policeman is a perfect policeman, a successful policeman. So these are some of the spirit I want to inculcate in the men and women I've come to meet, so that we have a change of attitude, that we always dressed, always alert, so that the criminals, they will run away from this region. When I was at Fifth, I noticed that a lot of the policemen who committed blunders were not properly dressed. When even they are praying before me, you can see that some are reeling of alcohol and other things, and they are uniform, dirty uniform. Do you understand? And those who come neatly dressed, you see that you go into the matter and you see that they are not at fault. This has informed me to make sure that my men and women have come to meet here, they always alert, properly dressed, in uniform, in body, shaved, clean shaven, so that to that I believe that any instruction given to them, they will carry it out. But the few badness who will not be ready to change, to the tune. We shall flush them out. Every place in Cape Coast today is a go area. I want to warn and advise all those who are in league to steal people's items. Cape Coast everywhere is a go area. And very soon, and I mean very soon, we are going to unleash our strength on them so that we flush them out. So they should rather leave even before we reach there.
Richard Kodronyako with that report. You're watching Joy News today with me, Bernice Abuberu. Manuel Abwajiriafe is standing by with business. Will this government extend its program with the IMF? Well, he's got some answers. Please stay with us.
For quick and easy banking on your mobile, like checking your balance or transferring money, use our mobile banking services today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Hello again, good afternoon and welcome to Business. Now, government is expected to extend its program with the IMF. This is what Joy Business has picked up from persons close to the IMF and government. The program should be ending in April 2018, but it now looks like it may go beyond that date. George Viafe has more.
The likely extension, sources say, has been influenced by the previous administration's inability to achieve the deficit target and implement key structural reform measures under the program. Joy Business understands the current state of the program requires the IMF to recalibrate the entire program targets again to ensure some sort of consistency with the new administration's economic priorities. Sources say even though government wants to conclude the program as scheduled, the IMF is now insisting the program should be extended. The fund is even threatening not to go to the board for approval for fourth review cash if government does not agree to a program extension. It argues looking at all the measures that needs to be implemented, it might not be possible to complete the program as scheduled. There are fears as government pushes ahead and implement all these measures, it could affect the economy, a development that could force managers to extend the program. Another development that would influence government's move is the signal it will send to investors if it goes ahead to end the program in April 2018. This is because some investors have argued being under the program ensures some sort of fiscal prudence. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta at a recent press briefing insisted that government is committed to ending the program in April 2018 despite the expected cost.
Senior Minister Yao Safo-Mafo says any program extension will not affect the economy and government's policy direction.
Do we really have to complete the program? That's the question you should ask. We are exaggerating this. The IMF has a 3-year extended program with the government starting April 2015, ending April 2018. We came and said we are continuing to the end of the program. The IMF itself supervised the deterioration of the indicators. How do you expect a deficit of 3% and you end up with 8.7 cash and 10.2 on commitment? So I told the IMF that they were poor supervisors because most of the statements they issued after their visits to Ghana indicated that it's neither here nor there. It's much ado about nothing. You are within that budget cycle.
All right, so we bring you these and other stories in the marketplace shortly at 1 p.m. My name is Emmanuel Boaji. Good afternoon.
Hello there, good afternoon. My name is Baba Tando and I bring you the latest in the world of sports. Let's get talking right here, right now. So for the second time in 2 months, Hearts of Oak have beaten their bitterest rivals, Kumasi Asante Kotoko. The first defeat was in a match day 8 fixture in the Ghana Premier League, where the Phobians won by a lone goal to nil. A lot of controversies arose from that result, with Kotoko faithful blaming referee of the day, Samuel Suka, for that defeat. Now, fast forward to yesterday, Kotoko lost again, this time heavily by 3-1 to Hearts of Oak. So, who will they blame this time round? Who will take the flak for that result? In fact, have Kotoko faithful accepted the result at all? Let's get some answers to these questions and more on FaceTime with Kotoko's former Accra representative, David Siribo-Watting. Hello, David. Good afternoon to you. Now, in Kotoko's first league defeat to Hearts in March, you blamed the referee. Yesterday, it happened that you lost by 3-1. Who do you blame this time round?
I just like blame all of us, ourselves and everybody, management, supporters, and everybody.
Okay, so you blame everyone. Now, do you also think that now sacking Lugarosic was a good decision as things stand now?
Yes. What I want to say is that sacking Lugarosic was a bad decision in a way. That's look at from my side. Microsoft bought all the players we are using now. So I think the transition from Microsoft to Luga wasn't the best. We shall maintain Luga and Michael. So at least Michael will hand over the players and the team to Luga with a very nice note. Microsoft left, and then he bought the players. He knew the players. He knew what formation he wanted to play, use those players to play. And then he handed them over to Luga. Luga also decided to use them to play 10-man defensive formation, which wasn't working for us. So from the hindsight, I think that the problem is with the transition from Michael Osei to Luga. That's where our problem is coming from.
Okay, from Michael Osei to Luga now to possibly Frimpong Manso because he led the team yesterday. Do you think that he's actually the answer to your problems?
I don't think so. I think team with as big as Kotoko before. He was. I think he's done some first division teams, but from first division to Kotoko, I think it's too much a jump for him. Maybe he can start as a coach for some time and then graduate to the first team coach. I don't think it's ready for Kotoko.
Now, yesterday, Frimpong Manso actually raised a number of issues. First was that the heavy defeat came as a result of goalkeeping errors. Do you agree?
Yes, I do. Feliciana has been one of the best goalkeepers in Kotoko. But yesterday he had a very bad day. It happens. It happens. In life, you don't always get what you want. So let's forgive him. He's a young player. And yesterday was a bad day. Get another bad day in the office. And let's take it and then move on.
Okay, final two questions to you. First, do you also agree to the fact that the display from both teams yesterday, from Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko, happened to be one of the best in recent past?
Yesterday, even though we lost the match, I really enjoyed the match. The performance was okay. The team was ready. The both team was ready to, and it made the match very nice. But I really enjoyed it. Even though I lost better at the stadium, but I still went home very happy. We witnessed a very good game.
Okay, and my very final question to you, but on a lighter note, Kweku Bonsam, you know him. He says he's the man behind the woes of Kotoko because the team was ungrateful to him. Is there any truth to this?
Kweku Bonsam is a very confused fetish priest. Very soon you say that he First, you say that he helped Joshua to beat Klitschko. Very, very soon. You hear that one too. You know, when things are not going well, people come out with a lot of theory. Let's laugh this off. Something for us to laugh over it. I don't believe in those stuff.
Okay, David, so I'll let you go. But before then, Kotoko, what's the way forward?
The way forward is that I think our management team, Dr. Che needs to be beefed up. Our operations is not as strong as we want it to be. We need somebody who's a bit radical. That's my personal opinion. Our operations manager looks very soft for me. And I think we should get an assistant who is radical.
Okay.
So some of these things, gentility don't play football, trust me. Operations is operations. Do it and move on. And then maybe we need more. Maybe there should be a board that will help the Dr. Che. He can't do it alone because it's too big. Okay. It will kill him if he wants to do it alone.
All right. David Boateng, former Kumasi Asante Kotoko's representative in Accra. Thank you very much for your time, and that will do it for sport for now. But there's more on the sports page of myjoyonline.com. We're also tweeting live on the handle Joy Sports GH, and then on Facebook we're giving you live updates. The address is Joy Sports. You can tweet at me personally at Baba Tando. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let's get some entertainment updates here on Joy News today. Now, as the world marked International Workers' Day, some Ghanaians took the opportunity to make the best out of the day with some exciting activities to crown the day which marks the celebration of laborers and the working class worldwide, seeks to highlight the importance of workers across the world. Midday is commemorated every year to celebrate and recognize the efforts of workers. Ghana was not left out of the celebration as citizens thronged the beaches, pubs and recreation centers to mark the day. One of Ghana's finest rappers, Edem, also took advantage of the holiday to officially launch his new Timberland boot shop.
Talk to artisans, people who are creative. If you're somebody who can do a graffiti, you can paint. We want to partner with people like that and do crazy stuff with this boot so that people who want their own to be different. So if you come and buy your boots, we are going to in future be doing amazing stuff that you can imagine.
Later in the evening, a concert dubbed Vim, put together by Vodafone, saw music lovers filling the Trade Fair Center to its capacity. Dancehall Act episode. Jupiter. And Shatawale, where the artists on hand treating patrons to hit song after hit song. With all these exciting activities marking the day, workers could not help but look forward to another May Day. Now, at the Vim concert, we caught up with Dancehall Act episode, who has been off the music scene for a couple of months, and he tells Joy News how he wants to relocate to Zimbabwe, where he's been touring. Now, he believes the Ghanaian music industry only kills talent instead of supporting them.
I was panicking before I left Ghana because people didn't know me much there, but
hey, well, you saw me win episode for Zimbabwe.
I'll be going back anytime soon. I think I even have to relocate and go and stay in Zimbabwe now. You know why? Because
are you kidding me?
yeah, because to face the fact, you know, Ghanaians, we don't appreciate our own. So to travel outside and see that love is there for the craft, yeah, sometimes you just feel like going out there and, you know, give it to them. Because remember, even a king is not recognized in his own town. You know, we all know like this soil actually kills talents fast. I'm being real. Like I always be real. You know, so it's better to sell it out because the mindset of doing music is not only to satisfy people in Ghana, it's to take the message across. You get me? So when I go there and then I feel like the market there love what I'm doing and they appreciate it. Yeah, why not? I'll stay there. See the beauty of talk about badness. See that your boy talk about roughness. That is the sadness we want. See we are high. Alright, let me tell you now. So I give for them small as them like them to the the news and never black the way.
And that's all for entertainment here on Joy News Today with me, Becky.